DA approved.
Yeah. 97.3. Come on. Let's go.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue.
Flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let's see, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays.
The city is alive on 97.3.
Go for gold and bet risk-free on the new season with Betway. Use the golden booking code found on the Betway site to bet on selected match week and get 100% back as a free bet on any losses. You always get more with Betway. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
City 97.3. Accra. Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tonight, I'm here with
Ajuaten Krama Domina.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
We will have to work hard. No doubt, we will have to work hard. But it is possible. We will break the 8. It is possible. We are going to break the 8. And we need all of your effort for us to break the 8. Let us keep focused as a party.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia rallies NPP members around the Breaking the 8 agenda following the exit of one of his contestants for the flag bearership race, Alan Kwadwo Chamantin. Also coming up and to the camp of the NDC, that's the National Democratic Congress, and it is continuing with community engagements for a public buy-in to its planned Occupy BOG protest scheduled for next week. And later on Eyewitness News.
Yeah, patient cannot pay. Go even 380 something Ghana cedis. When you come, even the machine said there's no reagent there. When you go there, they say they are doing only emergency.
The astronomical increase in the cost of dialysis and the complaints from people with kidney diseases. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and many other stories on Eyewitness News. And in business,
Petroleum sector players ask National Petroleum Authority to come clean on the infiltration of foreigners in the transportation of petroleum products.
That's in 15 minutes from the City Business Desk. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a host of affiliate stations, including Premier 100.5 FM, Beach 105.5 FM, and Sky Power 93.5 FM, all of them in Takoradi, in the Western region. In the Bono region, on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani, on Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi, that's in the Ashanti region. In Eastern region, on Right 90.1 FM in Somanya. In Volta region, on Holy 98.5 FM in Aplau. In Northern region, we are on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. Upper East, Eyewitness News is live via Word FM 88.3 in Zuarungu. And in Upper West, we are live on Bugli Radio 88.6 in Uwa. The show is also live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And we are also on citynewsroom.com, and we are interactive. Join us with your comments by going on WhatsApp and dropping a message 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. On X, the hashtag is Citi Newsroom. Tweet at Umaru Sanda or at Citi973. Let's settle for details of our stories now. And the first one has to do with the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Well, so the Vice President is asking NPP supporters across the country not to be distracted by recent events in the party. Dr. Bawumia says the NPP as a united party will win the 2024 election. Speaking to party supporters in the Eastern region after visiting some voter registration centers, Dr. Bawumia said the resignation of Alan Chematin from the NPP should not be a worry to the party.
I'm happy that things are going well. I'm more even happy that all of you have come out here to meet me. It tells me that the party is well and alive. One of the things that we have to do as a party is to know that we are going to win the 2024. You should not have any doubt in your mind. We will have to work hard. No doubt. We will have to work hard. But it is possible. We will break the 8. It is possible. We are going to break the 8. And we need all of your effort for us to break the 8. Let us keep focused as a party. Don't be distracted by events. Stay focused on the main task, which is to break the 8 and let nobody distract us. We are going to win. We are going to win. So don't be distracted. Focus, focus, focus on breaking the 8 in 2024.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. He's rallying there his supporters, the NPP supporters, to join the campaign to break the 8. And this is happening 3 days after Alan Kwadwo Chematin announced he's resigning from the party, that's the NPP, to run as an independent candidate in election 2024. Over the past 3 days, we've been getting reactions from senior members of the New Patriotic Party to the action and decision of Alan Kwadwo Chematin. Tonight, we're going to speak to someone who served as organizer of the party, served as acting general secretary before being elected general secretary of the party. John Boydu is joining us on the line. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Yeah, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a while. Where have you been enjoying your relaxations?
Oh, well, I'm presently not in Ghana, but no relaxation. I'm pursuing other personal issues. It's because you don't call me. So you call me today, I'm with you.
So we've been looking for that Adrian Kessie. We could not find him. It's good to speak to you tonight.
It's another.
You've heard what's happening to your party. What's your initial comment? Having followed the discussion, and I believe it would have also shocked you, or it has not?
Well, my initial comment is that it's regrettable. I think that it shouldn't have gotten to where it got to. If you really observe, after the Superdelegate Conference, for someone who was third, maybe she was expecting to perform better than he did, to come on to say that he's getting out of the race for the second round clearly indicated something. More or less, what a wind of it. We did what we have to do and expect that things will have been okay. I remember in 2008, I was in the National Youth Organizer. We almost had the same thing after the elections when Alan agreed that we must not go for the second round. Because you see, if we had gone for the second round, it wouldn't even have been possible on that day. Well, most often when we gather, congregate like that, we normally, because others come from long distances, we normally get those who come from long distances to vote so that they can go. So most of the time, they listen or hear the results whilst they are on their way. Yeah, so it will have been difficult to congregate and get a quorum. And even if you get a quorum, will that quorum be enough to be able to determine who wins the election? So taking all those things into consideration for him to have considered, because if he has not considered or has not agreed to get His Excellency the President to go unopposed or something, we may have postponed the elections and do it another time. So it was a good gesture that all of us acknowledged and felt that things were okay. So he put in his resignation and all the things that has to be done was done. It wasted our time for almost 3 months. Remember, back and forth today, he's back tomorrow, he's not, and all that. We had 2 committees to look at it, the Darocha one and the Odrisai's one and all that. So it was really, really a waste of time. But you see, it was at a time that we couldn't have also decided that let him go, Although we've had that experience before. For instance, if you look at the year and the run-up to the year 2000 election, we have a situation where there was mass resignation by leadership, people who were considered and were role model for us towards 2000. You remember Alaji Nisa, who was the campaign manager for resigned and joined the NDC. And he was the main tool for their campaign in the year 2000 election. You remember Joseph Oriata also resigned. Kwame Pieni resigned and said that he wants to be non-partisan. When we nominated Aliu Mahama, you recall that Wayoseni, who was then the he was then the first national vice chairman of the party, also resigned towards 2000 elections. But we kept focused. We crafted a good message, campaigned very well. We won the elections for the first time in our history. Towards 2016, the same thing happened where we had all these turbulence in the party, by general secretary, chairman, and all that. We were fighting two fronts, fighting the opposition and fighting within. The fight within was more treacherous than that. You remember that our even regional chairman of the Upper East died as a result of this internal wrangling. So the party is resilient. The party has gone through this, but it is up to what leadership will do to keep focus. Yes, he has said what he has said, and it is good that the party responded to some of the things that, in the view of the party, is not right. Because for me, since 2008, when he decided to come back with some conditions, 2009, 2010, he contested again for the flag bearership, lost to Zanado. 2014, he contested again. There wasn't any complaint whatsoever. He joined the campaign. We ran the 2016 campaign. We won. When we won, he took an appointment as Minister for Trade and Industry. And it's not just any common cabinet ministerial position. In fact, he's the head of the Economic Committee of Cabinet. And this explanation has not been given often by people. I don't know why people tend not to get people to see how important the role that was played by Alain Chamante in Akufo-Addo. He's the head of the Economic Committee of Cabinet. Cabinet runs in a committee form. We have just about, I think, 5 committees or so. So every minister belongs to one committee or the other. You cannot send any policy or proposal, or unless it is a cabinet information. That one is an information that we will take. If the information is very relevant, we can refer straight away to the committee responsible for that. So all ministers send their proposal to these committees, of which he has the Economic Committee of Cabinet. So he's played such an important role for the past 6-7 years, only for him to decide to wanting to contest for the presidential slot, resigned. So if all these issues, as he catalogued them, were still persistent, How on earth can anybody believe that? How on earth? From 2008, and it's not been resolved. I've been, like I told you, I was a national youth organizer then. I was the communication director from 2009 to from youth organizer to 2010. I was communication director, deputy communication director, 2010 to 2014. I was national organizer till 2022. I haven't received any complaint whatsoever of anybody being attacked and all that. And you see, so it is good the party itself tries to explain and get it out that this is the position. They don't believe that all these accusations are true. Beyond that, I think that is all. The party needs to concentrate on what it needs to do. There are registration exercises going on. We have November 4th elections for the flag bearership. We have orphan constituency elections to be done in December. We have sitting members of parliament elections to be done in February. Putting together a campaign. I don't think that we need to waste our time responding to some of these issues. You realize that, hello?
I'm here. Actually, I was going to ask, so the summary of what you have said to me sounds like you're saying Alan has been a pain in the neck of the MPP for ages, and that this is almost like, quote and unquote, good riddance.
Well, if you say that is been a pain, that may not be right.
But the good riddance is right?
It may not be right because he has not been complaining over all these years I'm talking about. You understand? From 2008 when he left and came back.
But it sounded like you have been managing him because you took pains to explain how after
I don't think so. I don't think so. If there's any kind of management, it is arising out of maybe surrogates. You understand? Surrogates who may support him in one way or the other, may do one thing or the other and all that. But for him, like I said, because immediately after he loses the presidential primary, he joined the main campaign, and he's the one who is the right-hand man of the Akufo-Addo.
Okay, so if that's the case, then he served a very critical and key position in government, like head of the, is it economic management or was a proper designation in cabinet?
Economic committee of cabinet.
Of cabinet. It means he's a very important figure in the government that is seeking to break the eight. If such a person quits that very government, then it means the government is wobbly, no?
No, that's another wrong conclusion. You see, there's difference between helping to run government and also having the political clout on the ground.
Except that, you see, he was not just helping run the government, JB. He was head of Economic Committee of Cabinet. He was Minister of Trade. Your party has said you are going to move, your manifesto for 2016 was agenda for jobs, but later on you campaigned on from taxation to production. He is the man who's supposed to run the production aspect of the economy. In fact, there are people who hold the view that the finance minister really shouldn't take credit or attacks for the poor performance of the economy or otherwise. It should be the Minister for Trade because trade really is everything. So he was critical, isn't he?
I don't share the view of apportioning blame in the proportion that people are doing. Because all put together, you have Minister for Agri, you have Minister for Interior, you have Energy Minister, you have Trade Minister, you have Finance Minister. All these important sectors are financed by the Finance Minister, of which all of them are in one committee or the other. They all work together. So if there's any credit, it goes to all of them. If there's any failure, it goes to all of them. For anybody to single, and you must also realize that we are running an executive presidency. You see, in everything that everybody does in cabinet, with all the arguments, assuming everybody decides that they are going left. The president can say that I want to go on the right way, or I disagree with all of you, and it ends it. Because cabinet in itself is just helping president to run the presidency. It is his presidency and not any of those people, the economic management team, minister for this, minister. They are all working at the pleasure of government. That's what it is. So if people want to even apportion proper blame, it should be Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo. If they want to apportion proper achievement, it's Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo. And now all those people that they are mentioning, if president decides that finance minister should not support planting for food and job, will anybody implement any planting for food and job? If president decides that free SHS should not be implemented, will any education minister implement any free SHS?
Let me ask you.
If the president decides that he will resolve the energy ministry to keep our lights on, what will any energy minister do? So this thing is because of internal elections, we are forcing blame here and there just to this point. See, assuming Baumia is not contesting the election, assuming Alan did not contest the election, and president is contesting the election, wouldn't they apportion all the blame to the president?
Let me ask you a question I asked your former colleague at the executive, the national organizer, yesterday. It has to do with the void that would be created. I'm talking about your current national organizer.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I asked him a question yesterday, which I want to ask you. The void that is going to be created or that has been created in the absence of Alan, how can the party fill it?
Well, like I told you, it will be a void if the party does not keep its focus on what needs to be done. You understand? It will even be a catalyst for strength for the party. I've told you, you've seen stalwarts in our party that have left, especially towards elections. You remember I gave you examples.
Yes, you listed them,
former
yes.
Campaign manager, those. And they were all strong people. Kwame Mpieni in those days, you know who we are talking about. You know, for you to go into an election in 2016, your general secretary, your chairman, these are party people and not people in government. You know, these are people who work with the people on the ground. So we turn that negativity into strength.
JB, a party fanatic of yours called me this morning to give me feedback on these interviews that I've been having over the past 3 days. And he said to me, or he drew my attention to a certain fact. He said all the people who left your party, which did not collapse your party, they left when you were in opposition and didn't have much to lose. And that, for instance, in 2016, when you lost your chairman and general secretary, you still went ahead to win because the NDC government was unpopular and you capitalized on the lack of popularity of the party to win. And that the same thing would have happened in 2000 because you were still an opposition party coming against a party that was not popular in government, NDC at the time. However, in this particular instance, you are in power. You are already not popular with the masses based on a number of challenges that we could spend the whole night listing. The last thing you want is to have an internal turmoil while also trying to manage a national campaign. Do you not think that that person has a point?
No, it's a very good point and very good observation. And I believe strongly that it would have been worse if Alan's performance in the just ended Superdelegates conference had been very exceptional. But you see, in the Asante region where he's supposed to come from, the performance wasn't even Kennedy Jeffo beat him in Asante region. And in all the regions lost. You understand? So, yes, I'm not downplaying anything. Because you are running a presidential system where one vote can determine who wins the election. Yeah, so, yes, it's a good observation, and that is not lost on us at all. All that I'm saying is that we can keep focus There's nothing that can be done. It's like fighting or crying over a spilled milk. What else can you do? The person has decided, even if you disagree with his reason, because I think that the reason for, as I listen to him, maybe there may be other reasons that he didn't give us the benefit to know. But if these are the reasons, I don't think that with what he's done in this party, it's sufficient enough to say that I'm resigning and I'm going as an independent candidate. Others may think that, maybe it is something that has been nursing over years. He just wants to present secretary, so whatever it is, he's been beaten by time and age, so he just wants to be.
Is that what you think?
For me, no, I don't think so. I think that the party should need to keep focus. He has said what he has to say. The party has responded to him about some of the inaccuracies and all that. I think that we should move on. We should concentrate on what needs to be done.
Boakye Ejaku has issued a 4-paragraph statement. I'm going to read the 3rd paragraph for you and ask you for comment. He said that
one, I should be responding to Boakye.
No. I'm not responding to Boakye Ejaku, but because it matters, it borders on the management of your party. And since you have been a national officer, and I believe by the fact that you are a national secretary, general secretary, you are now a member of the National Council. I'm not sure if that's correct. Are you?
Yes, correct. I'm a member of the National
So it means that you are the soul of the party. So I'm going to read this thing to you, what he has said about the party, and ask you.
People like accolades. So.
No, you are a big man.
That's why people call themselves founding members. When founding members are voting, they will not be part of the voting.
Are you throwing a shade at Dr. Nyaho Nyawotamaklo?
I'm not throwing. He's not a founding member in the sense of a founding member of the party.
I interviewed him yesterday. He catalogued his involvement with the party when they were creating the party. Now he explained. He gave a very long story.
Creating what party? When the party was being put together, there were specific rules that people played.
Let's not digress.
I don't know, but you give accolades to people and let them feel very good. If I remember, the closest Nyawotamaklo has come in terms of wanting to lead this party was in 2013 or 14 when he contested as regional chairman of the party and got like 10%. That's the closest. But we give accolades. That was founding member. We don't want the founding members to come and vote. We saw those who were founding.
Okay, JB, let me just take you to the point I was trying to make. It has to do with Boakye Ejaku's statement, someone who was part of the top 10 people who wanted to lead your party until a few weeks ago. The 3rd paragraph of his statement, he said, and I read, "At least my brother Chairman has put his thoughts and feelings on paper for all to appreciate. How about the many who harbor similar and maybe more petulant sentiments? Forgive me, just a second. Petulant sentiments in their hearts, but are not openly expressing same. There are many in our party today who have, out of dismay, resigned in their hearts and are only waiting to walk away from us to the ballot box." These are very, I've ended the reading, but these are very strong words that he uses there, and they mean a lot to your party. He's almost suggesting that your party is boiling internally, but putting up a beautiful face, and that people like Alan Chairman should be celebrated for saying publicly what many would not say publicly.
You see, there are lots of people who have toiled for the party, who have worked on the ground, who have campaigned for this party, who have spent their money on this party, who have sacrificed their career for the survival and the achievement of this party over the years. They've never been made ministers before. They've never gotten any appointment whatsoever before. So if those who have gotten appointment before, ministers, are harboring this pain, then I agree with him that there are a lot of people harboring more bitter pains than what you think that Alan Tremanti harbored and put it on paper. Because after all, for the past 7 years, if it's not because he wanted to contest as a flag bearer of our party, he was a minister of state. How many of those people who work in this party has ever become a minister of state? So if you work and you are rewarded, even within Kufuor's government, he was made an ambassador. He was made a minister of state. If he harbours this bitter sentiment, then there are others who are harboring more bitter sentiments than he is harboring. So for that one, I agree with him. So if everybody in this party who has toiled to bring us where we are want to harbor sentiments, all of us will harbor those sentiments. So it's not as if it's a threat to anybody. But people must also recognize that they have those names they have because of the new patriotic party. If not, they were nobody.
But it goes to the point that he's trying to make, that many people are affected within the party, and this disaffection, he says the disaffection would. He says the disaffection will cost you in the ballot box or at the in the voting booth.
If it costs us so big, because these people who are ministers for a year or two, for 5 years, for 6 years, for some of them when we're in power, they were ministers for 8 years, are harboring bitter sentiments. Then all of us, for some of us, for me, John Boedu, when it became very difficult, I combined two positions. I was working against external and internal threats. The day that Adams died, I was to be in Upper East on that day. Fortunately for me, I was late. I couldn't catch the flight. So I was to join the flight early in the morning. I received a call 2 a.m. that somebody has poured acid on Adam. If I had caught the plane a day before, I would have been part of it. When we won power, I still remain as General Secretary. Ask them, all of them who were ministers, ask them whether any of them have ever bothered to ask General Secretary come for even 10,000 contracts before. Ask them. All of them, including the CEOs and whatever. So if you are talking about people who are bitter, there are people who are more bitter than those who had ministers, and because they are not having, they are now bitter. But others decide that the love of the party is paramount. So even if I don't have it now, the party is not dying tomorrow. The party is not dying tomorrow. Those who sacrifice, J.B. Danko and Co., did they even taste power one day? Did they taste power one day? But we are enjoying the fruit of their sacrifices those days. People are writing down, people are having bitter experience. Yes, I agree. People are having even higher and more serious bitterness. Because for them, they've not had anything. Should that be the basis for supporting political parties? Should that be the basis? When we're joining the party, did we join the party because we want to be made ministers or ambassadors and things like that? All of them will have joined the NDC, but they were in power then. All of us. What kind of seed are we sowing in our party? What kind of seed are we sowing? What kind of seed are we sowing? Yes, in terms of bitterness, all of us are bitter. But we believe that the party is supreme. So we continue to work for the party.
And
I contested the election last year. Didn't I lose the election? for 1 year plus, have I been given any appointment? Have I come crying to anybody? Have I come crying to anybody? Don't I have the right to also be bitter? So that should translate into a level of me deciding that I'm leaving the party, I'm going independent or supporting independent, or I'll go to the polls and vote against them. This is what we want to encourage. Then we won't get we will only get those who were appointed when we won the elections. All the CEOs, ambassadors, and a few MMDCs and ministers and their family. All others will not vote for us. If that is the basis for supporting political parties, all of us will go that way.
Maybe his bitterness is justified to the extent that...
Whose bitterness is justified? Who?
Ejakun's bitterness. If he's bitter, it's because he has been ruled... He's been ruled out. Don't forget, he didn't serve as a minister for long, don't forget, before your government fired him. But
somebody did not. Somebody's name was not mentioned at all.
At least, so you are saying that he enjoyed. But my point is that he was ruled out. He was ruled out of a... John, he was ruled out of a competition whose rules were changed midway. Is that not a fair bitterness to have? If, for instance, when we were at the Accra Sports Stadium, imagine if the rules had changed that night. Would you have agreed with that?
Is it Umaru?
Umaru Sanda, yes.
Umaru, I agree with the points that Ejaku made. The fact that the rules and regulations that was fashioned out by the election committee says that if there's the need for a runoff, the very people who voted for the first one will be the same people who should vote. So if we go for National Council, and I must tell you that the National Council, there was argument here and there. And I can even mention the name of the national organizer who quoted that rules and regulations that was fashioned out. The only challenge we had was that rules and regulations did not come for approval from National Council and National Executive. But it doesn't matter. They acted on behalf of the National Executive. We are considering cost and timing and all that. So that if you still strongly, because the fact of the matter is that any of them could have said that even though these rules and regulations were there, I'm not going again. So there wouldn't be any need for that election. You understand? So if those rules, he feels strongly about that, he could have brought to the attention of the election committee, National Executive, and National Council. And wouldn't have concluded that because of that, I don't want to be part of it. I don't think that is how we should behave as members of our party. People have brought it to the attention. Was it cast in stone?
Maybe he took a lesson from the last time he drew your attention. He and 8 others wrote to you and said they wanted a Congress that was at the same venue, and you ignored them. So what was the point of writing to you again?
You are going for a general election. Then you write to the Electoral Commission, I want this rules. This is what I want. If the Electoral Commission refuses, because the Electoral Commission believes that all the points that you raised are not sufficient enough to change the already existing rules to run our elections, because of that, the Electoral Commission is wrong. Is that what it is? 2 issues they raised. The first one was that they want us to run it at one location. We discussed it. They made their point. At the end of the day, National Executive Council believes that if it is not broken, why do you want to fix it? In 2014, of which then I was the national organizer, the former general secretary was the general secretary. That's what we did. Ran it at the various centers. And we did it. But for Northeast, everything went on nicely and okay. So if you bring an application that is just trying to suggest, and that was not accepted, is there a basis for deciding that then I won't bring any suggestion again? The other one is to say that one individual should vote for 5 people, which is contrary to what the Constitution says. Well, if you give me a ballot paper. All the 10 they asked me to vote for 5 people. Do I want to vote for 5 people? I don't want to vote for only one person. You know what will have happened? I will have picked the ballot paper, and that one person, I'll vote for him 5 times. Does that resolve any problem? Does that resolve it? They didn't consider that. I had even a stronger point that I believe that if it was that point that they have pushed, the fact that this current national officers, they've not had an annual delegates conference. They are 1 year in office. Considering the timetable they've put together, it is not possible to have a national annual delegates conference till the end of the year. We go into the first quarter. There's a parliamentary primary for sitting members of parliament. So the likelihood of them having the opportunity to address the entire party may be lost to even after elections. You understand? So this was an opportunity where all regional chairmen, regional executives are there, all constituency executives representing constituencies will be there, all MPs are there, all national, for them to have addressed the party about the state of the party, the way forward, the strategies, what needs to be done, and all that. If they had made such persuasive arguments, they would have won the hearts of members of the National Council. But hey, that's what democracy is about. If you pushing arguments, if it's accepted, that's good. If it is not, you move on. You understand? So I think that whatever suggestion that normally that he recognized was right. But that shouldn't have been the conclusion. You have pointed out to either the election committee or national executive, and they will have no choice than to stick to their own rules that they established. You understand? So, for you to say because of that, you will not be part of it.
Very well.
Nobody has a problem with it.
Thank you.
So
Thank
for
you.
you to conclude, or others to conclude, that there are people who are bitter. Yes, it's true. And there are people who are more bitter than they are. But at least they have had the opportunity.
JB, thank you. But thank you. But before we go, when are we expecting you back in active politics? What are you doing? Have you retired or you'll be back?
I don't know what you call active politics. You call me and you're asking me these questions, and I'm saying those questions.
No, because I'm hearing you now, and I'm wondering if there's any. Let's leave it. Let's leave it. We'll talk about this at a later time.
I'm still around anyway, because after this internal election is ended, that's around February about a campaign team will be put together. All of us to find ways of supporting some constituencies, going to help and all that, because we still remain party people.
It's good you mentioned constituencies. I heard somewhere that John Boydu is hoping to go to Parliament. Which seat is that?
Oh, no. I'm tired.
Kafra.
I can't be part of that thing again.
Okay, that's fine.
I can't be part of that thing again.
The stress.
Mister. Oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Today you get this, yes, tomorrow you didn't get it. It's a problem. 20-something years, Omar. 20-something. I've been a national officer from 2001 or 2002 to 2022. 20 years running uninterrupted. Who has been able to do that in our party?
Johnson Asiru Nketia has done it at the other side.
Well, the other side, not in our side.
We wish you all the best.
I'm not a leading member of the party.
So it means that you are saying that in fact you are tired. The general secretary position, you won't try, won't premium, and the chairman, you won't run for general secretary again.
No. It's out.
And chairmanship?
It's out. I don't know about that. But going back as general secretary.
Wish you all the best, and thank you for speaking to us tonight.
Thank you very much.
That's John Boydu, also known as Adrian Kessier, former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. This is Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you. Can't feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz. And he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
Technology is shaping the workforce of the future. Are you job market ready? Looking for a career change or want to get into the tech space? The place to start is with ALX. ALX, an Africa Leadership Group initiative in partnership with the MasterCard Foundation, is developing a talent pool within the technology sector. ALX offers courses in software engineering, AWS cloud computing, data analytics, and Salesforce administration. This is an opportunity to learn in-demand skills in a changing job market. ALX provides added value in training programs, mentorships, and networking. Apply now and get started on your dream career. Visit www.alxafrica.com to register before the deadline of 12 September 2023.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Another story the Eyewitness News team is looking at, indeed, the Citi Newsroom, has to do with the cost of dialysis at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Ajwa, what's the story?
The management of Kolebu Teaching Hospital has explained that the increase in the cost of dialysis treatment for patients with kidney diseases is due to the rise in the price of consumables. Now, the cost has gone up from 380 Ghana cedis to 765 Ghana cedis. There's more in this report filed by Citi News' Eno Safo.
A notice by the head of the dialysis unit at the center has announced an increment in the cost of dialysis treatment. The price has risen from 380 Ghana cedis to 765.42 Ghana cedis. This announcement has received mixed reactions from the public.
I heard that they have increased the dialysis. And what I can say is that even the 380 Ghana cedis, they can't afford. And today you can see that 700 and something Ghana cedis, then people are going to die. Because when you look at the situation, even for Kolebu to even do some subsidy on this dialysis is possible. Yeah, patient cannot pay. Go even 380 something Ghana cedis. When you can, even the machine said there's no reagent there. When you go there, they say they are doing only emergency. So people are dying. People are dying. So now it's 700 and something. How can they pay with this economy?
And if you read the notice, the indication is that the price had moved from the current point to almost 700 Ghana cedis. In fact, in excess of 700 Ghana cedis. I got alarmed by that particular notice because I know people who go for dialysis sometimes 3 times in a week, and they need to do that plus or minus 12 times in a month. And so if the person needs to do it 12 times in a month and he hasn't to pay in excess of 700 cedis per session, just do a simple calculation. That's huge. You need to have dose of income or money to be able to sustain that. So I felt that that's effectively Kolebu Teaching Hospital signing the death sentence of persons who go to Kolebu for dialysis. I found that as well, that it is the exchange rate that is creating the bigger problem there. But I have said that against the life of individuals, if there is any way, is it possible that National Health Insurance can even intervene? Is it possible? So that we can look at all the scenarios, the possibility of National Health Insurance getting involved to, as it were, to minimize the impacts on persons who go for their dialysis every week.
According to the hospital, they have met with the patients privately to discuss the fees. In addition to the increment in dialysis treatment, the hospital has resumed its routine operations at the dialysis center. This positive development comes after the hospital received a much-needed consignment of renal consumables. Previously, the center had to temporarily close down due to a shortage of the medication required for renal dialysis. Mustafa Salifu, the public relations officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, explains that the treatment interruption occurred due to contractual issues with the supplier.
We had some contractual issues with the suppliers of the consumables that we use to do the renal dialysis, and that caused some delay in getting the consumables imported into the country for services to our patients. But thankfully, last week, we took delivery of those consumables, and then we are starting to provide a service from today to the patients. In terms of what happened, these are contracts that we usually sign. Sometimes there are contractual issues that you have to discuss with the suppliers so that you get to the point where the possibility of having such issues will be minimized significantly. I think that has been done, and then we hope that going forward, both sides of both parties will work assiduously to avoid this kind of challenge that we had in the past.
Citi News can confirm that the Kolebu Teaching Hospital held a closed-door meeting with dialysis patients to explain to them the reason for the fee increment, and they say that this is to enable them ensure that treatment continues and they will be able to continue to import the renal dialysis that they use in the treatment. For Citi News, my name is Inu Safo.
This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So the issue of the increase over 100% is becoming a source of worry for many people who patronize the dialysis center at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. The legal aspect is what we want to look at, whether what the Kolebu Teaching Hospital has done is lawful or otherwise. Kwabena Minta Akando is a former deputy minister and he's ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament. He's MP for Dwaboso. You're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Maro, thank you.
We do know that Parliament has to approve certain fees before they are charged of the citizenry. Does the issue of how much you pay for dialysis at Kolebu come under the fees and services, the Fees and Charges Act that you usually pass for public institutions?
The answer is no. And therefore, whatever fees or charges the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is seeking to collect with respect to dialysis is illegal.
Okay, so I think my question, then you understood my question to mean whether they have brought it to you or not. I was asking if they ought to have brought it to you, and you said the answer is no.
They ought to have, because Kolebu is a public institution, public health facility, and they cannot set their own fees and charges. So it must come to the subsidiary legislation. In fact, they must come through us to the Social Legislation Committee, and of course, I'm also a member of the Social Legislation Committee, and I don't know of any such, outrageous amount approved for the charge of dialysis. That we have not done that. And so any, such fees that has been proposed or that is being charged at Kolebu is strictly illegal, and I think that they must stop with immediate effect.
If they do not stop, what options would be available for Parliament? What can you do?
Yeah, I believe, number one, they will stop because it's illegal. But if they do not stop, maximum by Monday, we'll be there to have first-hand information. And from there, we will have to hold the minister responsible for health before the committee to come and answer questions. Because this is highly unacceptable, it's unconscionable, and I think that we must not entertain it. I don't know whether you have assessed the gravity of the matter. If you are charging 765 Ghana cedis per dialysis, in some cases you have to do 3 times within 1 week. Okay? And so we are talking about more than 2,000 Ghana cedis. Within 1 month, we are talking about in the region of 9,000 Ghana cedis. Omaro, you, how much do you take a month? Even me, as a member of parliament, I can't afford that. And so the main objective of a public health facility is not profit-making. Main objective of every public health facility in this country is to provide quality health care to the people. It is not profit-making. And so we even know other private and government quasi health facilities which are charging less than the 700 they are charging, and yet they are running their departments and units. In fact, it is government responsibility to guarantee good health care for the people of this country. So whatever it takes, I've heard some of their justifications, i.e. high inflation, the waiver of the exemptions. Okay, it is not for nothing that past governments have been exempting or place exemptions on some of the reagents and then materials for these critical services. It is not for nothing. Okay, so you don't come and mismanage the economy, and then you go and place taxes on these reagents so such that you pass it on to the ordinary patient. You don't do that. In any case, the taxes you have collected all these while, 6 years, 7 years down there, what have you used? What benefit has it been for the good people of this country?
Very well.
Except that now you are pushing people into their graves. How insensitive can government be? You are pushing people into their graves. This is something if you refuse to do, or you are not, you can't afford for more than a week or two, you will die. You will die. And government is looking on, at least this piece has been on for the past 3 days, and nobody is responding to it. What kind of government do we have in place? This is health issue. Health matter.
Very well.
For Christ's sake, somebody must be responsible.
Thank you for speaking to us. Thank you. That's Honorable Kwabena Minta Kando. He's MP for Dwaboso and the ranking member of the Health Committee of Parliament. He's a member of the NDC. And talking about the NDC, it is planning to occupy the Bank of Ghana. That demonstration is scheduled for next week, Tuesday. Ahead of that, it has been doing community engagements, which has been doing in the Ododo constituency at a place known as Gbese. It started yesterday, and the party continues to do that and is inviting its supporters and community members to join it for that Occupy BOG protest, which it schedules for 3rd October, next Tuesday. We do have eyes on that story for you, and as and when they hit the grounds, we'll be sharing with you what you need to know about it. And talking about political issues, if you want more, there's an exclusive interview with Alan Kwadwo Chamantin. Citi TV and Citi FM's Bernard Kokwavle has interviewed Alan Kwadwo Chamantin. That interview is airing tonight at 9 p.m. on Citi TV on The Point of View. You want to stay tuned in and listen to Alan's reasoning for quitting the NPP and deciding to run independent. There's also an interview with Nyaho Tamaklo, who was mentioned on Eyewitness News tonight. You want to stay tuned into 97.3 Citi FM at 7 p.m. Thereabout. Actually, no, that will not be happening because there will be no point blank tonight because there's a game coming up. So the City Sports team would actually be taking over your airwaves. But we have business news coming up next. So stay with the 97.3 Citi FM, relevant radio, always.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, a low burst line, a little tight by the hips, covered sleeves, off shoulder, definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coartem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coartem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
Yeah, Charlie, so many vibes and I want father, my sanaba. My many papa and you're not for more fear anymore, more acquaintum. Trebiania, so a manisca coffee, see and fancy that near fear for a bit for Javis no parking. A bear man Sujai Casa. Thanks to Sukasa, how hard to your nature. Sukasa see a damn brony friend affordable luxury homes, or more 2, 3, 4 bedrooms, where you're fully gated or grants and communities, or more malls, clubhouse, and all social amenities, plus 24-hour security. Almost our flexible payments, and yeah, I know my dear at Dalcasa, plus 100% guaranteed cashback. Yes, 100% guaranteed cashback. No quick one-answer stories. Contact Sukasa right now through phone calls or WhatsApp on 030-296-0865 and 055-369-7886. Charlie's social media so more, baby. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube at Sukasa GH. Email Susie at info@sukasa.com.gh. Sukasa, building on trust.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens. Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
It is time for the Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, and this is powered by the citibusinessnews.com. My name is Ajwatin Krama Domina. The details now, and the Association of Oil Marketing Companies wants the National Petroleum Authority to ensure the transportation of petroleum products is left in the hands of local businesses rather than foreigners. It comes on the back of the influx of tankers allegedly owned by Chinese nationals, which have been engaging in transportation. The development, the association fears, puts the haulage of petroleum products under threat. The oil marketers are demanding that a regulator halts the activities of the foreign operators. Is also asked for clarity on how the Chinese trucks have been allowed in the country, which they fear would collapse the businesses of local tanker drivers. Kweku Ajimendua is the CEO of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies.
The minister should stop these people from bringing the trucks in. We've got more than enough we have in the country, more than enough that we need in the country. And if the guys want different business, they should go for different business. We allow people to come into a business and come and dictate to us, basically. We have got a regulation which says that Ghanaians should be driving the trucks. Yeah, basically. 100%, not even partial.
That's the CEO of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimendua. Meanwhile, the Tanker Owners Union in Ghana has reiterated the negative impact of the increasing presence of Chinese-owned trucks. According to the union, this surge in foreign ownership has the potential to jeopardize the already struggling operations of local players in the fuel distribution sector. In an interview with Citi Business News, Ignatius Kokudo, the executive secretary of the Tanker Owners Union, emphasized that although the union has proactively raised these concerns to the National Petroleum Authority, no tangible action has been taken yet to address the situation.
The tankers are passing through the process. The process is through which they will calibrate. They have not been registered, and then they are going through the processes that will make them get the MPA license. So that's why we started showing our concern. And we want to actually make everybody, or we want to make Ghanaians understand that we are going for a long haul. And if those tankers should be allowed into the system, then we also advise ourselves on a whole lot of a wide range of issues that we would do. The authority should stop that. It should stop them because it's not fair. And most of them also have one way or the other lived on our resources before. We will not hide that thing. They came to us looking for funds to do their campaigns and other things. So if today they have found their feet and that for that matter they think they can do that, we only appeal to them to stop it so that we all don't find ourselves at each other's neck.
Ignatius Kokudo is the executive secretary of the Tanker Owners Union. Away from that, the government has underscored the critical role of sustainable farming in achieving food security. This, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture explains, is exemplified in the implementation of Phase 2 of the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Yao Ado, delivering a speech on behalf of the government during the launch of the 39th National Farmers' Day celebration set to take place in Takoradi, reaffirmed the government's unwavering dedication to ensuring food sufficiency through concerted efforts.
Our evaluation also reveals that, notwithstanding these achievements, there is a need for new strategies to optimize returns on investment. We recognize the urgent need to expand our productive capacity and harness the opportunity to unlock the full potential of the sector. The outcome is the birth of the second phase of the Planting for Food and Jobs initiative, which was outdoored last month by the President in Tamale. At full implementation, the PFJ 2.0 will certainly change the face of Ghana's agriculture. It is a 5-year master plan for the renewal of agriculture in Ghana. It represents a new trajectory that replaces the input subsidy program with an input credit intervention.
That was a Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture, Yao Ado. We'll stay on food security because the Peasant Farmers Association is advocating for a comprehensive trade policy aimed at ensuring a consistent food supply throughout the region. This advocacy is in response to alarming findings from the Africa Agriculture Status Report, which reveals that approximately 50% of the African population currently lacks access to an adequate supply of food. In an interview with Citi Business News, Dr. Charles Nyaba, the head of programs and advocacy for the Peasant Farmers Association, explained that they need to remove trade barriers that exist on the continent in the wake of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
If we have a trade regime that allows smooth movement of goods, services, and agricultural inputs, it will go a long way to motivate farmers to actually identify those areas that they think that they can easily have market access and then increase their productivity. I'm not saying that Ghana should only be the country to look at, but our other countries that equally have competitive advantage to produce certain things that in Ghana we don't have, they can do that. If you take sorghum for instance, there's a huge market for sorghum in Ghana. Ghana has using sorghum to do malt and other beverages. Okay, you go to Togo, you go to Burkina, and there's a lot of sorghum in the market. But to bring that sorghum to Ghana through a food is a problem. That's for example. There are other commodities like cassava that have huge market in Burkina. But the new farmers are stopping cassava production because it got to a point they are not getting market for cassava, reliable market for cassava. So if there's a trade regime now allow these farmers to easily move their commodities from either here or other areas to other countries, I think it will increase their productivity, create more incomes, and address all the food security that we are facing.
You just heard Dr. Charles Nyaba. He's the head of programs and advocacy for the Peasant Farmers Association. And now the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority says it will not relent on its enforcement and compliance strategies to ensure the government achieves its revenue target. Leadership of GUTA has charged its members to resist what they term harassment and intimidation by GRA officials. However, the division maintains that although it will continue engagement with the business communities, it will not hesitate to crack the whip on traders trying to evade their surveillance. These comments were made by the Commissioner of Customs at the GRA, Alhaji Seidu Idrisu, at the 4th Annual General Meeting of Retired Custom Officers Association here in Accra.
Another thing I want to call on record to do is community engagement. Let us consider expanding our outreach efforts to engage with local communities, the trading public, educating them about the importance of customs, trade, and the benefits of compliance.
Enough for Emma Smith Rowe to try and dominate the game.
The fight against smuggling and illicit trade. And retired custom officers have that capacity, and you will live in communities where you are leaders. And we can play this role effectively. Mr. Chairman, a few weeks ago, I think you've seen it's normal for us when traders and trade associations are demonstrating against us, for arresting them And we have, GRA has also come out of a response. In fact, 2 days ago, the national executives of Guta and the Ashanti regional executives met with GRA top management, and we pointed out to them that the fact that we are enforcing our mandate outside the entry points is part and parcel of measures that we take, and they cannot say that we should stop.
Commissioner of Customs at the GRL, Haji Seidu Idrisu. Let's now bring you some updates on CBO and the Eden Heights Sports Complex in Weja will be hosting the 2023 edition of the City Business Olympics for the second consecutive year. In our series to build up to the event, we give you a sneak peek into the sporting grounds.
The ultra-modern complex offers a wide range of sports facilities, making it the perfect venue for our event. These facilities include a top-notch football pitch, a well-maintained basketball court, and Olympic-sized swimming pool and sport hall suitable for various indoor activities. Tennis enthusiasts will also find courts tailored to their preferences. Eden High Sports Complex caters for fitness enthusiasts as well. There is a fully equipped gymnasium stocked with state-of-the-art exercise equipment for cardiovascular workouts and strength training. Frema Edunyame is head of events and partnerships at Citi FM and Citi TV. She also provides more highlights.
This is corporate Ghana coming together this time around, not maybe at a seminar, not at a workshop, but we are still networking. We are still discussing proposals. And we have the CEOs there, we have BDMs there, we have the HR managers there, we have the entire workforce, coming. So it is a very relaxed atmosphere to come exercise, to come play, and also to discuss business. Now, everybody should go see Eden High. You must see Eden High. When you get to live in a very beautiful environment that comes with a sports complex.
The City Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom Chemists Limited, EK Brand Consult, Blue Jays Energy Drink, Hollard Insurance, Voltic Ghana Limited, Fan Yogo, and Universal Motors. For more on registration, please call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973.
Ni Latte is with the business desk of Citi Newsroom. And that's all for Citi Business News. On Eyewitness News, it was powered by your most comprehensive business website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Ajwa Tinkrama Domina. Thank you for listening.